Let me close some deals first. And it's like, you know what? You don't really want to say right away that you're pregnant. And you know what's so crazy? I haven't till today. Matter of fact, I have to tell them this week before this interview come out. I haven't even told my parents.
No way, Cardi.
I haven't told my parents. They just be looking at me like,
Cardi. Wait. Back up. Why haven't you told them?
Because I'm scared of them. I'm very scared of my parents.
Generally speaking, I'm not one that's very big on gossip, but there's a contradiction between these two interviews, both by an elder interviewing their junior, their protege, if you will. In one case, you have Cardi B being interviewed by Gail King, and Cardi B basically said, I did something I can't tell my parents about, but I can tell you about. And notice how conciliatory, or should I say welcoming, that Gail King is to the fact that she's pregnant inside of a marriage with another man's child.
Before this interview come out, I haven't even told my parents.
No way, Cardi.
I haven't told my parents. They just be looking at me like,
Cardi. Wait. Back up. Why haven't you told them?
Because I'm scared of them. I'm very scared of my parents.
You're scared of your parents?
I'm very scared of my
do
parents.
they like Stefan? Do they like him?
Yes, they like him.
They like him.
They do like him. They do like him.
Something tells me they'll be happy for you because you have children, he has children. Were you thinking, you know, the way we feel about each other, we both want to have a child together?
The most interesting thing to remember about this particular point of the interview is that Gail King did not cast any judgment upon Cardi B. None at all. She just said, why didn't you tell your parents? And then she went straight to, well, you guys both wanted kids and everything's going to be okay if you're happy. Now, notice the stark difference. She's married. No conversation about the sanctity of marriage here. But guess exactly where you are going to hear it.
Every man, this is a good analogy, has the ball knocked out of their hands sometime, and we hesitate to dive on it. In life, that could be you get a, like for me, I use myself for example. I got my wife now, Nicole, pregnant out of wedlock, very dishonorable to her father who was a pastor. I did hesitate. It took me over 4 years to marry this woman. I wasted so much time. We've been married 27 years. But I finally dove on the ball.
Do you see what I see?
In this part of the clip, Jason Wilson is using the analogy of Cam Newton not jumping on the fumble in the Super Bowl as a way of saying, if you're not the man you need to be at the right time, you will miss a chance by hesitating. And of course, the chance he's talking about is marriage. But what's more interesting to me is that there is only one side of this conversation that is talking about the sanctity of marriage. And guess which side that is?
If you haven't really unpacked that, like really, it will morph into other areas in your life where you hesitate. I talk to a lot of men about being married. They can love the woman, desire to be with her. They always say, well, Mr. Wilson, I need to get a little more money. Mr. Wilson, I need to get this house. You know what? Maybe when I get this business going, I'll go ahead and lock that in. I said, me and my wife, we got it together. I didn't have money, a lot of money. My wife was a nurse. We put that together. That's why the scriptures say it's not good for man to be alone. The woman in Hebrew, the word helper is Azah, which also means a shield.
Now that we're using Bible references, let's see if any of this is coming up in the conversation with Cardi B speaking to her elder.
Something tells me they'll be happy for you because you have children, he has children. Were you thinking, you know, the way we feel about each other, we both want to have a child together?
Yes. I mean, you know, everybody kept telling me, like, I should have fun.
Yes.
And we had a little bit of too much fun, and now I'm here. We had too much fun. And yeah, we're very excited. We're very
and you're
happy.
both
we talk
happy.
about it all the time.
And you're both happy about it.
Yes, we're very
But
happy
I'm
about
happy for you to see you this happy because we all know you went through a very messy divorce with Offset. Were you worried about opening your heart up again or falling in love again or even dating again? Were you concerned about that?
It's interesting hearing on one end the duties of marriage in that a man and a woman become one, and the Bible scriptures saying essentially that she's your helpmate and that it's not good for man to be alone. And then you turn the page and the conversation's all about, even though you were still technically married when you were pregnant by another man, are you happy? Now explain to me the dichotomy between the duties of a man in a marriage in doing all of this stuff tied to the Bible, but on the other end, a woman has been simply tasked with the job of being happy. It sounds like two different job descriptions to me.
So many of us, when you look at what's happening in our community, we're missing that, especially when studies come out to show that over 80% of millionaires are married. What are we missing? Majority of us is fear.
Here is where we get our first mention of fear, but the fears are very different fears. First, Cardi B's fear.
Were you worried about opening your heart up again or falling in love again or even dating again? Were you concerned about that?
Yes. And one thing about like dating, like it's like when you date, you feel like you're like 16 again. And I don't really.
Well, you want to feel like you're 16. You want to meet somebody that makes you feel like that.
You do, but then it's like you also remember what you dealt with when you were 16. So it's like restarting again.
Well, that part, yeah.
Yeah. And being open.
And vulnerable.
And like one time he just told me, like, it's like, let me heal you. Give me a chance for me to heal you.
All of the conversation, of course, is about how she feels. Chase the feeling. That is the utmost allegiance. Go where you feel good. I have not heard a single Bible verse mentioned yet in this interview.
That's why I say, man, it's not the lack of discipline. It's not even self-control. Those are fruits of the seeds that have been planted. So if you don't have the right seeds and the right soil, your manifestation of the bad fruit is what we're seeing now in so many men.
So many men is me. The example that you gave, self-love, as far as the Super Bowl, and I'm trying to regurgitate, the things that you kind of mentioned. I did unpack that.
Excellent.
I think the thing that I have an issue with is I knew and know right from wrong. I just don't always do right.
What the scriptures say about that? It's a basic definition of sin.
He said, let me heal you. Is the baby, I'm not asking for your due date, but is baby coming this year or next?
It's coming before my tour.
Before your tour? When's your tour?
In February.
Whoa, Cardi.
Yeah.
You're going to go on tour in February?
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm very ready.
Why
Even when I'm pregnant, I'm very, very ready.
Do you see what I see?
It's a basic definition of sin. To know the right thing to do and not do it, to him that is sin. So if I'm talking to you, my son, as a young man of the Most High, you got to change that.
Yeah, but it also says in the Bible we all fall short of his glory.
But it also says that we are not to abuse his grace.
Yeah, and I also say we could go back and forth.
Yeah, and so what does it really come down to? It comes down to who's really living it and who's just talking it.
Earlier, Cam spoke about having 3 baby mothers with a variety of children. And if you win the Heisman and the NFL MVP, you're probably going to have a baby mother or 3 or 4. But he's speaking about his reality, which is important for Jason Wilson to listen to, because Jason Wilson got married 27 years ago. We're talking about not even before social media, almost darn near before the doggone internet. And so he is speaking from a reality that might as well have been 100 years ago, because 27 years ago is a polar opposite to dating and getting married now. And Cam is going to tell him exactly that.
I know right from wrong. I just don't always do right. I had a great figure of what marriage and love was in my household. So much so, I always said I grew up with 3-parent household: my mom, my dad, my grandmother. My grandmother, I'd never seen my grandmother with another man outside of her deceased husband. She was a widow. I never seen her seductive. I even never seen her flirt. Never seen her even let another man touch her respectfully. I knew these things. But as you unpack your reality, and marrying is always a goal, not the goal.
I filed for divorce a year ago. That should be very clear. I don't deal with that. I don't mess with that. I don't have no contact with that.
She filed for divorce from rapper Offset in July of 2024. The couple was married for 7 years and have 3 children together. The divorce has not yet been finalized. One of the songs I think is very powerful on your new record, Man of Your Word. The lyrics about that.
Yeah.
7 years, you said, I admit it wasn't all bad. Skeletons in my closet, too. As a wife, I should have realized when you were hurt, but instead I put my music first. But I really do wish you the best. Continue being a winner. If I had one wish, I wish you would have been a man of your word.
I got to go back to who we are in Yah, if you in Yah, all right? To whom much is given, much is required. If you got much more, you've been entrusted with much more will be demanded. You can't just brush that off, because you're telling me your life is different than mine, which is almost you're not saying it's an excuse for sinning, but listen.
We all sin. Your sin, and no sin greater than the next one.
Hebrews chapter 10, 26. The one who willingly sins, willingly is the key word. There no longer remains a sacrifice for his sins.
You're going to go on tour in February?
Yeah,
You ready?
I'm very ready.
Why
even
do you-
while I'm pregnant, I'm very, very ready.
Tell me about that.
Because I'm
You say-
getting my body ready. Like I stretch it out. I stretch. So as soon as I give birth, tour rehearsal starts. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I don't come from weak women.
You don't?
No.
There is nothing weak about you.
No.
Nothing.
Brother, it's a gift of who you are, what you've been through, and your influence.
Right.
It's supposed to be used for the kingdom.
Yes.
Samson's strength was for the kingdom, but he laid with the wrong woman.
Delilah.
Yeah, and she took him out. And he prayed, Abba, give me strength one more time, and I'll crush all these Philistines. He died before his time. The scripture says, you be overly foolish, you'll die before your time.
What's interesting looking at the dichotomy of the two interviews is that anything that Cardi B does is strength. Her having a child before she goes right on tour, strength. Her getting pregnant while she's still technically married, strength. She comes from strong women. She doesn't need to be married to have children. It doesn't matter what she does, it's strength. And then you're looking on the other side of the coin, and basically you have to walk this holy line because that's the way you're supposed to do it, my brother. And it's just quote after quote after quote from the Bible of this is the righteous way to move. But if righteousness is a one-way street, then you can understand Cam's reticence for getting married on paper in this society.
Well, for me, as I'm talking about my reality, right, knowing right from wrong and not always choosing right, my fear of divorce is greater than my desire to get married.
So give me that. I appreciate you saying that. You just identified one issue that's stopping you. But we know God didn't give us a spirit of fear. He gave us a spirit of power, love, and self-control.
You don't have to be on social media too long to hear a chorus of people saying that there are too many men with mics and podcasts. But the truth of the matter is, there are guys that are telling their side of the story in this age where social media is king. And so for someone that's married 27, 28 years, talking about a way of living that was written in a book that's 2,000 years old and holding men to that standard, but in the same environment, we're hearing young ladies being applauded for making songs like WAP, a woman that's essentially having a child while she was still married. She still has 3 children with her still on paper husband. And on one side, she's being applauded for being a strong woman because everything she does is strong. And on the other side, you're hearing a man getting lectured about the 2,000-year-old sanctity ways of marriage. And it just doesn't compute, not in this environment. Because simply put, for Cam Newton, when that young lady gets tired and she leaves, she wants to get paid for it. And part of what's making Cardi B's divorce so difficult is because she doesn't want to pay. The other side of this equality that we're trying to legislate in character and ideals, but it's still not quite there on paper. And for guys, even a jock like Cam Newton, he can see it. And even if he's labeled the sinner and Cardi B the saint, the truth of the matter is Cam knows that he shouldn't get married because what he's being told marriage is, it just doesn't exist in our environment anymore. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. Catch you next video. Take care, guys.